Hi, Year Nines. This is Mrs. Williams here. I'm about to record the next video or the screencast for you of the essay about humanities and the Industrial Revolution. But before I start, I want to say thank you to Christian Del Mundo from 9TW, who told me that in order to make these videos easier for you guys who have headphones, that I need to get a microphone. So I've borrowed a mic and I'm trying it out now. So let me know if it actually makes it easier or better for you guys who've got the headphones. So you haven't got loud one side, quiet in the other. So today I'm going to go through three things. The first is a different type of body paragraph to the ones that we've done before. The second is introductions and the third is conclusions. So let's have a look at the third page if you've got those sheets with you. I just thought, remember that we talked about the first kind of way of doing body paragraphs that we talked about was starting with an industry like transport or medicine or technology, science, factories like cotton factories and agriculture and all. We're picking an industry and then focus on the innovations in that industry and then focusing on the effect or the changes caused by the industry to people's lives. And so a few of you have written body paragraphs that are like that, and there's some samples on these handouts. So just for those of you that maybe haven't had a look at that, there are a few different possible topic sentences that I've put on the page 3 of that handout. So the first one is here. During the Industrial Revolution, society also changed and developed because of innovations in transport and in particular the steam engine. And there's 3 other samples. Notice that I have used linking words like in addition, furthermore, and moreover. These sort of words help to connect your ideas together in your body paragraphs, and they just make it flow more nicely. So see if you can add some of these into your essay when you redraft. So the second one is developments in the textiles industry led to changes in the lives of workers at the time. And then the next one says, furthermore, advances in technology in medicine also resulted in improvements in the lives of people during the 18th and 19th centuries. And the fourth one, moreover, during the Industrial Revolution, there were improvements in science and technology that led to many new inventions and changed the way people lived. So those are just ideas of body paragraphs you can do. We've already talked about those. But the ones I want to talk about now are the bottom of page 3 and the top of page 4. So you could also start with the workers' conditions and then look at what was the cause of that. So something like, during the Industrial Revolution, the lives of workers changed considerably in the 18th and 19th century, or from the 1750 until 1915. And then you can explain how they changed, what changed, and go into reasons for the change. Now, this might be useful if, for example, you note that the general change in working conditions has more than one cause. So where sometimes it's possible to identify medicine led to improvements in health, and it's quite a direct cause, and there's one leading to another. Sometimes, like working conditions, it can be really difficult to identify what one particular cause is. There's many things working together to create the change in the working conditions. There is the change in the society from more agricultural to more urban society. There's changes in transport which allow people to move around more. There is changes in the law. There's all sorts of things that work together. So if you're wanting to focus on that, perhaps body paragraph 3, you may just consider the overall workers' conditions, what they were like before the Industrial Revolution, what they're like during, and even now what they're like after. And what were the changes, like what was the cause, what were the many different factors that worked together to create that cause. And the same thing for child labour. You could do a point sentence or a topic sentence talking about child labour. So during the Industrial Revolution, child labour was another factor or another significant thing that came out of this time in history. And then look into the reasons for child labour. There's many different reasons that children were using as workers. And so have a look at these, and this might give you some ideas for a different style of body paragraph, especially for those people who get stuck when you're focusing on just one innovation. So then we're going to talk about introduction. On page 1, we talk about, there's this section here about introduction. And basically an introduction for any essay. This kind of includes English and humanities, but an introduction for any essay, you need to start by defining the topic. So the topic really is the Industrial Revolution. So you need to tell us, what was the Industrial Revolution? When did it happen and where? So we're focusing on Britain. Okay, and you need to explain from the 1750s through to the early 20th century. The Industrial Revolution was a period of great change and development in technology and society, or, have a good definition that you can find. Then you need to go and you need to say your main points. So you need to put into your essay, what are you going to focus on as your main points? What is the main ideas you're getting at in your essay? So what you need to write is basically, you need to look at what your topics are. So if you write about the farming industry, transport industry, workers' lives, and child labour, then you need to somehow get those 4 main points into your introduction. Generally, you write 1 sentence each for these, so you might summarise the paragraph in 1 sentence. You can sometimes put them all together into 1 sentence and just list that in this essay, the areas focused on will be child labour, working conditions, etc., etc. But I find it's nicer to actually give the 1 sentence for each, and it kind of prepares the reader for what you're about to say. It's like telling the reader what you're going to say in your essay. 1 sentence for each, representing each paragraph, and try and do it in the same order that they appear in your paragraphs, in your essay. And then you also need to have something called a contention statement. And a contention statement is simply stating the main idea, one main idea of your whole essay. Often it is just rephrasing the essay topic. So, therefore, the Industrial Revolution was a time that lives of people changed considerably, and many of these changes had a positive impact in society, but there were also negative impacts also, or something like that. That addresses, pretty much rewrites this topic. So feel free to use a sentence like that at the end of your introduction. So define the topic first. What was the Industrial Revolution? When and where? Give each of your main points, and then tell me your contention statement, which is restating this in your own words, the essay topic. So that's your introduction. If you haven't written it yet, then that would be a good thing to move on to next. And finally, the last thing you do will be your conclusion. And your conclusion is the easiest thing that you write. You are not allowed to have anything new in your conclusion. You have to basically say the same main points that you've said. So you restate, you re-say, or you say again your main points, and you say again the contention. You can sometimes, while you use your topic sentence to help you get the ideas you put into your introduction, You can use your link sentences because they link back to the essay topic. Your link sentences often work really well in your conclusion, but you have to see what you've actually said. You always have to say it in different words so you don't seem repetitive, so you find a different way of saying the same idea. So that's all. Hope you have a great long weekend, folks, and good night.